to DasCafe. I'm Das, and we serve good living in DasCafe. That is good eating, healthy bodies, emotional and spiritual wellness. I do the show in two segments. There's a cooking segment, and then during the after party, it's more intimate. In the after party, I'll talk more details about different aspects of how you can achieve good living. So today we want to fix a pumpkin pie. So stay tuned. Well, we're going to make that pumpkin pie, and it's pumpkins pie, my very first cookbook, and I'm getting the recipe from this cookbook. And although it says pumpkin veggie delights, it's not just all vegetables. You have appetizers, main dishes, desserts, but you can get that from my website, which is DasCafe.org. But I'm using first pure pumpkin, 100% pure pumpkin. I've got that upside down, but it's pure pumpkin. And if you're going to get a large can, about a half of a can. If you get the smaller can, you can probably use the whole can. So we're going to just do a half of a can of pure pumpkin, and if you choose to. But I get the Baker's shredded coconut, and I use about a half a cup, and I put that in. Then my next ingredient, I use non-dairy cream cheese. So I'm going to put a whole package of this cream cheese in there, and it comes out pretty easily. Then my next ingredient is, this is a store brand, Publix store brand egg beaters, about a half a cup. And then raw, unfiltered honey. You know, it's closer to the, almost with the honeycomb and the bee buzzing around it. So I use about 3/4 a cup of that. And then we'll put that in. And that's our sweetener instead of sugar. A pinch of salt, about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And these are my seasonings. I'm only going to use nutmeg, cinnamon, apple pie spice. I like that. So I'm going to add that as well. It's spicy. I could use a little bit more, but again, I think some people say they like mine because it's not as spicy as the traditional. There's 1/8 there of the cinnamon, my pumpkin spice, 1/8 of it. There. The last ingredient is non-dairy milk. You can use almond or silk or soy milk. In this case, I'm using coconut. Now, I'm going to use, even though it's about a half of a cup, I'm going to start with maybe 1/4 of a cup and see if I need more before I add all of it in. And the next thing, all we have to do now is blend. And I'm going to see if I need any more milk. I think I'm good. Probably could have used a little more of the pumpkin and maybe a little less of the milk. I'm pouring it in, as you can see, and it's wonderful. Very good, very good. And I just used the Keebler shortbread, but if you like the crimp pie shell, I recommend Marie Callender's. Put it in the oven at 350, a good 50 minutes, depending on your oven, maybe a little longer, but you want to watch it. And then when you take it out, definitely let it cool. I would like to put it in the refrigerator before I cut it. And you want it to, be thickened before you cut it. And that's it. Well, you're in the after party, and I'm glad you could come to the after party. A lot of people come to the party, but the after party is more intimate, and you have to be invited. It's a select group of people. Not just anyone comes to the after party. So I consider you a select group of people. And the purpose of the after party is so I can talk more intimately about messages that I share nationwide on varying radio broadcasts, nationwide television broadcasts, and in-person training that I have done. And the purpose of the after party is to talk about ways that you can achieve good living. Now, when I say good living, that is healthy eating. It encompasses strong physical health, as well as emotional and spiritual well-being. So I see it as a complete wheel, and every spoke in that wheel must be accounted for in order for you to achieve good living. You know, there's a lot of bogus information on the internet, and it is just very deceptive. And I want to bring to you the background that I have because I am credible. I am a registered dietitian, and I also have a master in public health. So I share these messages with you in the after party. Now, disclaimer, I don't want you to stop any method, treatment, or any modality that your doctor or your health practitioner has outlined for you. But what I hope is that your health practitioner or your doctor may say, "What are you doing? Things are certainly getting better for you." That would be good. Today's topic is mind over matter, the first step to weight loss. You know, the mind is a powerful organ. We have 86 billion neurons, and they control every bodily function. How you think, how you feel, your learning ability, your memory, it is all stored there, and it stays there. You need to fortify your mind because you need a strong thinking mental capacity to make good decisions in order to achieve good living. You know, sometimes we make poor decisions because we're not fortifying our minds. I don't take any substance that would alter my thinking because I always want to be in control to be able to make good decisions. You know, on this walk, on this journey, you need help. And one of the things that I would recommend is that text in the Bible that says, "As a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh, so is he." So if you think you're going to fail, you will fail. If you think you're going to succeed, you will succeed. I know a lot of times we've had struggles and we're tired of pills and drugs and the threat of surgeries and all that it brings and the medical expense and the time away from living a vibrant life. So if you can make some of these steps to achieve good living, and I will talk about varying aspects each show that I do, hopefully your health will improve. And that's what I want for you. You need to start first with a vision. I can't think of anything that I've achieved in life that I did not have a clear vision at first. I would think it through and process it and think it through. And then I would look at the steps that I need to take because you have to do more than think. You got to come up with those actions. When I went to graduate school, I would think of the end goal, and then I would follow the steps that I needed to take. Sometimes there were twists and turns, but you keep on that path, and finally I did graduate. And the same thing when it came to writing my book. Now, this is my most recent book that I've written, and it's Boss Battle: Strategies to Fight Fat. I did the same thing with this. You know, you come out with an outline and what messages do I really want to share? So the messages that I share in Boss Battle include menu planning hits and steps to control your appetite, eating on the run, and time management techniques, and also those 10 golden rules to fight the fat. Also, I've worked for the military, and so I kind of have that military mindset, and I've included in here some of the general tactics to be victorious at war. So I took those tactics, kind of tweaked them, manipulated them a bit, and I put them in here. So I say, hey, if it works for the generals to fight war, it can work for us to achieve weight loss. And I say us, I'm on the journey with you. You know, when I was younger and even going into my middle age, I never had a problem with weight. I was always thin. But then the tables turned, and so now I can empathize with people who are trying to lose weight. And I set small goals. I may say 5 pounds, and I want to reach that goal by this time. And then I will set a new goal, and then a new goal, and so forth and so on, until I reach my ultimate goal. sometimes you need to have pictures. You know, pictures are 1,000 words. So if you need to put a picture of yourself up when you were a weight that you wanted to be, look at it regularly. Keep it in the forefront of your mind, or a picture of someone else that you admire. I was listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is promoting his new book, Be Useful. I think it's called The 7 Tips to Be Successful or something like that. But the theme throughout his presentation is to have a clear vision. And as a young boy, he had a clear vision. Before he even came to the United States, he wanted to be the #1 bodybuilder, and he wanted to be the lead in a movie. So when he came over to the United States, that's what he pursued. And he also had a role model. And that role model was, back in the day, Reg Parker. Well, Reg Parker played in a lot of Hercules movies, and he was strong and buff. And that impressed Arnold. And another thing you want to keep in mind is to fortify your mind. I already said, don't take any substances that can alter your mind, and that could be drugs or alcohol, etc. But in addition to that, you want to cultivate positive thinking. Associate with positive people, and that's one way to help keep you on that journey. We're talking about good living. We're in the after party, and I'm Das, and I'll see you next show.